Hey, in this vlog where I have an orange here, at least right now, it might move and I might move it. Anyways, just to tell you, you haven't seen this one before. It's not a growth on my neck. I didn't get my terminal diagnosis yet. And is in this vlog, I'm going to tell you some of the data where I can tell that HsD as a disease that affects your brains has been speeding up during one lifetime, like my lifetime. It's been speeding up before I was born, but now it is easily measurable. I'll just do like a 15 years, let's say. In the last 15 years, when I took my training to become a life skills coach, they were taking a limited number of people. So people had to hand in certain criteria assignments, I think, to qualify. And I think also the mental health certificate I was taking at the time. A lot of people were trying to sign up for it. They don't give that training anymore. I think it lasted 1 year, the life skills, after mine. And then after that, the lady retired. But I don't think anybody was going to offer it. They could have offered it to me, by the way, because the lady did ask me to replace her when she was on vacation and gave me a nice letter of reference. And I did do that in multiple places where it was appreciated and I was good at what I did. Okay, but 15 years ago, people would have been grateful to receive these types of lessons that I would prepare and that they would sign up for free. It was starting 15 years ago to be hard to get paid in this job, although very much to save your species. This should have been more people trained in this. And again, trained in this included, she was a great life skills coach trainer. It required a certain amount of personal development. So if people applied and they could tell that the personal development was not at a certain level, it was unrealistic to expect from that person that they would reach a level that the person, let's say, as a life skills coach, would not be too often triggered, let's say, or would kind of regress in their life in a way that they couldn't role model the skills anymore, or lose confidence to do so, or whatever. So this was about 15 years ago. In the last, let's say, month, okay, of me being in this new community, is offering this. Okay, so from Work BC, I get conflict of interest as an excuse, and I don't know how they define it. That if I'm a client helping other clients with my skill set, it's a conflict of interest, even if I invite them to be co-facilitator. I don't know. They'd have to show me their definition. At one point, I'm going to say, explain conflict of interest. And of course, it's not going to make sense. It's not going to fall under conflict of interest, but they will enforce this. They will enforce, oh no, their belief. And it might not even be in the book. It'll be individual-based decisions, right? It won't be like Work BC will hear about it. And, oh my God, you trained people without, let's say, getting paid, or, there could have been a liability issue. Whatever nonsense from HsD, right? From over-domestication, that there's no common sense anymore, that's one example. Another example is the lady in charge of this place. Is I've had back and forth emails with her, and if I answered her honestly, what she deserved is, excuse me, ma'am, but I am tired of your disrespectful and unprofessional communications with me. And that would be a valid boundary that a life skills coach could demonstrate based on her interactions. But I can't say this, because if I do, while I think she's going through a hard time right now of like not wanting to work that much, but still having to do some work in her role, and but really wanting to have the whole summer off. That's the sense I'm getting so far. But what she's saying is, when I send her information, she keeps asking for more, and she keeps saying I'm not qualified, or I need more evidence that you know what you're doing. And it doesn't make a difference I have these diplomas or these references. And it doesn't make a difference that I want to meet with her and just show her what I'll do, or do it for free. And so how do you explain this? Because it wasn't like this 15 years ago. You might think that I am the pattern that explains all this, because let's say you think I'm arrogant. But the thing is if you put all these excuses together, and I haven't finished giving examples of different ones, is I can show you the data, and you could see that there's no arrogance, or at least at the beginning, how you interpret arrogance, there wasn't any at the beginning. And what you might interpret arrogance, it's still not it. It's just me defending my human rights. Or just saying, that's not okay. Lady, I can't take you seriously. So that's really what I should say. If I wanted to be not that strict in my response to defend my human rights or my professional skill sets, which have been proven in the past, and I don't need to jump through hoops, which is abusive, to prove it to her when she's ready because she's not burned out. That's not okay, because she serves a community in that higher role here that requires and would appreciate these skill sets, but she blocks it because she's not well. And it could be she's doing fine and this is her regular energy levels in a row, which is, I'm asking her, why is there so much time between, and, her response makes me think that she's, probably in a role where she wants to do the less as possible, and even that is stressing her out in the summer. I don't know. That's an assumption, but it's very likely to be true compared to, somebody in that role who would be like me, for example. It wouldn't take that long, and the emails would be more efficient, and I wouldn't disrespect somebody that's a professional. Even if I've never seen them work, I'm happy to meet people, and in a short conversation, I can tell if they know what they're talking about or not. But the fact that now she's asking for the material, blah, blah, and I've already been plagiarized a lot, and this week, the university that plagiarized me in Japan 3 years ago is still giving me the runaround and blocking my email in certain emails I use to communicate with them because they're ashamed. Now, I'm giving them a chance in accepting me in this program in Japan, and a lot of it could be some of my research is including life skills to demonstrate how our species is so far from being capable of undergoing its own maturation process now, and life skills would help with that. It's like this. Okay, so Work BC is conflict of interest, which is not clearly explained, and it's like there was a copy and paste for those words, but not what the policy is. So the font was different. And yeah, I noticed. I'm just talking about it now because I remember. And the lady here is really, I gave her enough information already that she should not give me the runaround like this when I'm inviting her to co-facilitate. But she's so scared, about the unknown for her. Now, if she is in that role, she should not be scared. She should be confident in herself. And she should also not have mental illness that makes her think that somehow I'll sabotage her elite status or the image of who she is. That's not my issues, people. It's yours. The third often is we don't need that right now, or we have somebody that does that when they can't even define what it is. Give me a second. I want to think about what the other one is. Okay, I can't think about it right now, but look, I'm putting back the orange just to get your attention to stay with me a little bit longer. One thing, though, is people kind of expect me to do all the work to break through their insecurities and uncertainties and show them what this is. For example, when I send them my description of subjects and the times that it takes, like it says it's based on the Saskatchewan New Start model. So if they can't look that up or just see examples that are often free online, and that I have to play these games, like another thing today is a lady wants me to call her instead of me coming to where she works, which is a community service place. Okay, so she's afraid to meet somebody with maybe a couple of post-secondary degrees because it intimidates them. But really, again, my life skills coach training, people, is worth so much more. And in my life skills coach training, it includes 6 credits for child and youth care worker, okay? Now, it's there, the information. And I keep getting people say, after I send them stuff, oh, it looks like you're not qualified for this, or you should at least take that course. And the course is written on the documents, like a responsible adult that I send them. Now, after they are that dumb at reading a resume in the only language they can read, and they ask for it, and they already make an assumption, and they probably don't even read it thoroughly, is even if I send one document, and I get these answers, Now, I'm again in a catch-22 because remember, these people primates have not undergone their maturation process. So their little feelings will get them to hate me based on their errors. I've described this before. It's pretty ridiculous. So as a life skills coach, I've noticed incredible improvements in people when it comes to their goals after, their confidence, their mental health, their joy for life. There's a lot of people that are afraid, let's say, because I don't have the same degree as them, or, the same certificate, but I have better, and they just have to do the research of what's written on my resume to find that it's higher. Is, for example, they'll say, oh, but you'll be dealing with clients with suicide issues. And first of all, I know what those feelings feel like, okay? That's a big advantage in the job right away. Second of all is I've been trained and I worked as a volunteer counselor where these situations came up. And I'm not afraid to ask those questions and assess for this and know how to respond, right? Because I've done my maturation process. I'm not going to freak out or respond in a bad way. And if somebody, let's say, I would ask the questions. Are you comfortable with this? Can you give me an example how you'd notice this? And then you'd start asking probing questions. And what would be your response if they answer in this way? This is simple to do these things in an interview. And you can tell if somebody knows what they're doing. And you can watch their face because I'm a trained counselor. And you can tell they have the confidence. They know what to do. But people in the roles that would hire me, they can't even want to meet in person. And there's no phone number, so I could go like 2 blocks away at Work BC and call this lady that wants me to call her instead. And she's playing these games with me by email. I don't know if she remembers, she's already done it with me. So I could call her. She's 2 blocks away from where I would borrow a phone at Work BC, okay? And then it could be she's not there or she's busy. So she doesn't know that this is an example of violating my human rights because she believes her time is more important than mine based on her insecurities. So I'm not like this. In her role, I would be okay meeting people, especially people that want to help with something I'm working on that's burning me out, but I don't think they get that. They want to keep burning out with as little competent people around them in their insecurities as possible. So, of course, it's crashing societies. I'll tell you, and another one online is Global Collaboration Challenge. It's videotaped that I explain what life skills is, and when they ask, and they still ask after, and you can tell they haven't been paying attention or they didn't review the video to compensate for when they didn't pay attention. And they think I didn't want to give it when in the video it says that, yeah, they would not participate. So they want me to give a life skills lesson to them that is not going to participate, which is pretty much the same as here. She's so afraid of participating in some way or be a co-facilitator that she's still stalling. So she's going to stall the whole summer so that, the community that she would help bring these services to for frickin' free is not going to benefit. So these are examples because life skills helps develop a human operating system. It's people skills for the people primates, okay? So that they're not the people I just described in the roles that are blocking life skills, okay? Training for free people. And it didn't used to be like this 15 years ago. So when I tell you that it is getting worse, this is an example, this particular subject of life skills, which is related to looking at ourselves, because there's videotaped workshops where we look at each other and we learn from these powerful observations on video. So when you don't want to do this, and most of you would defend this lady or this guy at Global Collaboration Challenge or these people or their supposed policies at Work BC or people that, hire or work with kids with challenges or people with mental health or whatever it is, these are people that when you identify with them, it adds more data that your species is doomed and it is speeding up.